Raw After Dark. We back with another video, man. Let's get right into it. Like and subscribe, man. Let's go.
Just to get to Asia. Check this out. Now here's the flight pattern on a globe. The guy leaves Seattle, Washington, flies over Alaska, kind of curves around the so-called globe and lands in Asia. Okay. Now, if you still don't get it, let me break it down to you this way. On a globe map, all the pilot had to do was leave Seattle, Washington, fly straight across the sea to Asia, which would have been the shortest route. Fuel-wise, whatever you want to call it, that would have been the shortest route. But he can't do that because it's impossible. Now, let me show you why he takes the route that he takes. Now, let's have a look at the same route on a flat Earth map. Okay? Here, we have the United States, the west coast of the United States. Here, we have Asia, which is where the guy went. Well, look what's right in between. Alaska. So if you leave here, go into Asia, guess where you're gonna fly across? Alaska. Let me zoom in on the map so you guys can see just a little bit better here. As you can see right there, Alaska, right in between Asia and the United States. Now, let's put a marker on there so you guys can see it's a straight line, straight across. And Alaska is right in between. So as you can see, they don't choose to fly that route. They have no choice but to fly that route. Now let's check out a flight from New York to Moscow, Russia. Okay, now if you look up the flight pattern on Google Maps, it will show you a route leaving New York, going through the tip of Canada, then through the tip of Greenland, then through the tip of Iceland, through Sweden, and then into Moscow. Now let me zoom in on this map so you guys can see that better. Like I said, it leaves New York, goes through the tip of Canada, through the tip of Greenland, through the tip of Iceland, over Sweden, and then into Moscow. Now, doesn't that strike a little bit awkward with you guys? I mean, anybody with common sense knows that the fastest route between A and B is in a straight line, as we see here.
Straight line always.
I mean, you do not have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. It's common sense. From point A to point B is a straight line that will always be the fastest and shortest route. So anyways, on a globe, this would be your shortest route from New York to Moscow. But instead, this is the route that they give you. Now, I'm going to show you why they take this route. Let's go to the flat Earth map. Now, check out what you have to pass to get from New York to Moscow on a flat Earth map, a straight line. Check this out. The edge of Canada, the edge of Greenland, straight over Iceland, straight over Sweden, and into Moscow. Huh, imagine that. There you go. Now it makes sense. The flight pattern makes total sense on a flat Earth map because it has to go straight across those countries to get to Moscow.
Ever see the moon get struck by anything? Where did these craters come?
Y'all tell me what y'all think about these flights we be going on, man. Are we using a globe map or we using a flat Earth map? Some type of map like that can explain why we take the routes that we take. Like, let me know what y'all think about it in the comments, man. Back to the video. Let's go.
From on the moon. Even Mercury has craters on it. Where did these craters come from? Mars has a canyon much larger than Grand Canyon. 4 of the planets today still have rings around them, and the rings around these planets are made of rock and ice. Very interesting. Now, Walt Brown thinks some of the craters on the moon were formed when the fountains of the deep broke open and rocks went flying up out of Earth's gravitational pull, drifted around for a while and clobbered into the moon. He thinks the comets came from Earth, and water on Mars came from Earth when the fountains of the deep broke open. Here's an article about a scientist who discovered chunks of ice as big as this auditorium are hitting the Earth all the time. They dissolve in space, but it rains down as water. There's water everywhere in space. Scientific and Technology article here. The Bible says all the fountains of the deep were broken up in one day. If you smoothed out the Earth, the oceans right now would be 12,000 feet deep, Oceans average 12,000 feet deep, but if you smoothed out the Earth, they would average 8,000 feet deep everywhere. There's plenty of water on the Earth to cover the planet. When the climbers got to the top Mount Everest, 1953, the year I was born, they got up here on Mount Everest. They began to find something interesting. Petrified clams on top Mount Everest. In Peru, a couple years ago, they found giant oysters up to 11 feet across, 2 miles above sea level. That's a big oyster. You should see the pearl. And these clams are interesting. I've got some on the table down here. They're petrified clams in the closed position. Now think about it for a minute. When a clam dies, it opens. The muscle inside relaxes, the ligaments on the outside pull the shell open almost instantly. When a clam dies, it opens up. How would you get bazillions of petrified clams in the closed position on top of mountains all over the world? The best explanation for this is they were buried alive. Sometimes huge beds of these are found. A guy in Opp, Alabama said, "Brother Hovind, you want some petrified clams for a museum?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "They're 4 feet thick in my backyard." When he rototills his garden, he brings up thousands of petrified clams, closed petrified clams. Even fragile items like eggs are found fossilized. I believe the sediments would settle out of this flood. Fine sediments would preserve things in incredible detail. Here's a fossilized jellyfish. We have an arm to an octopus, fossilized octopus arm in our museum. Soft tissue simply doesn't fossilize. Under very special conditions are required. The Bible says the fountains of the deep broke open. So I think the earth got struck by a meteor. The water underneath went shooting to the surface, and the earth was covered with water. See, the earth's crust is kind of interesting. Pretty thin, actually, in some spots. 3 to 5 miles thick under the crust, under the oceans, and 30 miles thick under the continents. The hot water from inside the earth would come shooting out, and it would kill animals that live within a certain radius of the crack as the hot water escaped. As the basalt bulged up in the middle, the plates are going to slide down, explaining, as I said earlier, about the wrinkled mountains. Take a look at these mountains in British Columbia. They've been pressed from the end, wrinkled up. What happened? During the first few months of the flood, the dead animals would settle out. People ask, why aren't more human fossils found? Well, humans are smarter than animals. Some humans are, and some animals. And they would tend to avoid drowning till the last possible minute. Animals that are buried on top or very, very shallow soil are not going to fossilize. Think of all the millions of buffalo that were killed out west in the last few hundred years. None of them fossilized because they weren't buried. So fossils only form if an animal is buried pretty deeply and pretty quickly before it has time to decay. Marvin Lubenow says about 4,000 sets of human remains have been found. I think there are fewer humans than animals found fossilized because they were smarter and would avoid drowning till later in the flood, and therefore they're not going to be fossilized. We cover more on that in video 7. The trees that are uprooted would float around in big log masses the size of Texas. They're going to be buried and become the coal seams that we see today. Moving water does some very interesting phenomena. As water is moving, it automatically sorts things. It can form 5 or 6 layers simultaneously. There's a good videotape called Experiments in Stratification that shows the top strata can actually be older than the bottom strata. If the water's moving, it forms multiple layers simultaneously. During the flood, the water would be swirling around, and the dead animals would tend to, get caught in these little swirls called eddies. This happens today. If you walk along the river, you see the river moving one direction, but along the sides, there's little eddies swirling water. This would happen on a global scale during the flood of Noah. As the animals would float around for a few weeks, they would rot, and their head falls off, and tail falls off, and legs fall off. And when they finally get buried, you end up with tangled up messes of dinosaur bones. Notice these backbones here have no head attached, no legs, just the backbone.
Something slammed into the moon so hard that it somehow erased more craters than it created, and scientists never even knew that it happened. So NASA just found a brand new crater on the moon that is 225 meters wide, about the length of 2 football fields. And somehow, nobody even knew that it happened in the first place. But here's the part that is actually insane, because this thing hit so hard that it sent rock and dust flying over 120 kilometers in every
y'all
direction.
let me know what
That
y'all
debris
think about
was moving
that.
at over
If
a
that's
kilometer
real
per
or you
second,
think
which
that's
is
AI.
faster than a bullet. And then
'Cause to
all
me,
of that
you know.
material landed on top of the surrounding terrain, burying smaller craters that were already there. So this one single impact
I'll tell
created a
what y'all
brand
think.
new crater, but it wiped out dozens of existing ones underneath a blanket of debris. NASA officially stated that a crater this size only forms once every 139 years, which means that we just witnessed something that's not going to happen again in obviously a very long time. And obviously the wildest part is that NASA is currently trying to send humans to the moon, but this thing just hit with zero warning. So we are going back to the moon, and things are just slamming into it without any warning at all. Cool, cool, cool.
Well, would you look at that, y'all? Apollo 8, December 24th, 1968. Take a look at the clouds right there. And then over here, Artemis 2, April 6th, 2026. Uh-oh, NASA. Did you forget to move the clouds? They didn't change? What, 58 years, something like that? And they didn't. The clouds are in the exact same formation. 58 years later. Uh-oh, NASA, you got some splaining to do.
There's 200 meteor craters that have left ginormous massive holes on the planet. There's no skid marks or anything. It's like it came straight down. What? In the book of Enoch, how many angels were cast down from heaven? 200. Who's to say they didn't come down in a crazy way? And then the rendezvous point is Mount Hermon. That's nuts. A lot of these stories all across the world are these balls of fire. Gods of fire came down, and that's what left those craters. Isn't that crazy?
Goodness.
But there's the story of this ancient Native American tribe in New Mexico, and one kid who had a large scar across his face. He's probably 7 or 8 years old, and he runs to this crater. They spend days looking for this kid. He comes back a couple days later, 30 years old. That's wild.
In reflections.
That's real crazy.
Now look at this. In the reflection on the helmet, it looks like a neat row of movie lights. And look at the reflection on this photo.
Got a little
What
cut.
the heck is that?
That looks a lot like a studio light with the
Got a
barn
little
doors
cut on my
open.
neck, man.
Now here's a photo that shows what looks like a movie prop. This rock is labeled with the letter C, but the crew forgot to remove the label when they started shooting. How about this picture of the landing module? Do those hills look like they're miles away? Or do they look like this was shot on a soundstage? Now speaking of those hills, this photo was supposedly taken a few miles away from the landing module. Then how come the backgrounds are identical?
Because they use the same backdrop.
Now let's talk about stars. On Earth, even with our thick atmosphere, the sky looks like this. But on the moon, with no air, the sky is just black? Shouldn't the sky be full of stars? NASA really thought this one through. If you're gonna hoax something in space, the stars are a big problem. This is because by using a star map, you can not only get the precise location a photo was taken, you can even get the precise day and time. So they had to get rid of the stars.
When you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics.
That's something I never understood. Like, we could see stars from Earth, but when they leave and go out of space, we don't ever see no stars. Or why y'all think that is? Why we can't see stars from space, but we can from Earth? What's going on?
I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
Small problem. They use stars to help them navigate to the moon.
The astronaut navigator
So they
finds
say.
a known star in the
Educational
wide-angle
purposes
telescope.
only.
Using a fingertip control, he changes the attitude of the spacecraft to bring the star into line. Once he has the star in position in the telescope, he moves the optical sextant. He lines the sextant up with the star and makes a reading.
So are there stars or not? Which is it? There's a lot of evidence stacking up that doesn't look good for NASA or the moon landing. And we're just warming up.
NASA and the government faked the moon landing was basically, it was technically impossible to do it. And they simply had to come up with some sort of alternative that they felt the public would believe.
I believe, had they wanted to, that NASA could indeed have pulled off the greatest hoax of all time, never sent anyone to the moon, and recreated it in a television studio.
Can you realize that you and I that all of us have actually begun the exploration of another world?
The United States Geological Survey decided to build a model of one part of the lunar surface in an area accessible to present research centers.
4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Reflections of studio lights, accidental movie props, repeating backdrops. There's a lot of evidence suggesting that the moon landing wasn't filmed on the moon, but on a soundstage.
2 of the astronauts on the Artemis
Crazy.
mission are literal actors. You can
That's
see
crazy.
This one was in Fallout, and this one was in Mad Max. Why would they hire actors to go to the moon?
Them boys look gassed up.
Jamie, pull up an image of it. It's very strange.
Somebody was flying by what they thought was a volcano in the 30s, and he thought, hey, that's somebody built that. Wait a minute, there's 4 by 8 foot bricks. That's man-made. And it is literally the biggest pyramid in the world. It's bigger than the ones in Egypt, and it's in Guatemala. Maybe 20 years ago, I visited. All the pyramids in Tikal would fit inside the one big pyramid in El Mirador.
Really?
Yeah, it's a monster. And so that tells you that the pre-classic civilization was bigger and grander and more sophisticated than the civilizations that came after it.
That's crazy. Got to travel more.
It's all fake.
We got to start traveling more, man, to see the world, see what's out here.
Very, very old maps, you see that there used to be a country called Tartaria that was in existence. And at a certain point, all of history has been changed. About 1,000 years have been added to the timeline in order to justify land claims. And those land claims largely have to do with the elimination of the Eurasian horde. Rome and Greece and Egypt were actually active till around 1600. And that Rome actually fell around 1492.
As opposed to what's the conventional timeline?
About 1,000 years before. The Salem witch trials took place around the same time as the Inquisition. Columbus was discovering America around the time Rome fell. All of this was designed to erase this entire civilization from history.
The CIA has admitted that the way they found the pilot was because of his heart rate.
AI from far away. They could
40 miles, I think.
40 miles. They find this guy's fucking heartbeat. He's hiding in some kind of crevice. And then they're able to go and extract him hearing heartbeats. And then the heartbeat says a lot about a person. Are they sleeping? You can learn so much from a heartbeat.
What sick fuck invented this?
That's what I said, man. They be on a lot. We don't know nothing about.
We are living almost in the Truman Show to where if you start trying to get out and like, I'm going to get on the boat, like crazy stuff starts happening, you get canceled. Think about the people getting canceled. It's like, it's bizarre.
So for anyone who hasn't seen the Truman Show, it's basically this man whose his entire life is a TV show and he doesn't know it because he was born in it, I guess. He was brainwashed into it, whatever. And so everything's put together and fake.
Everyone's an actor.
Everyone's an actor in his life.
Yeah. And one of the things that happens is Truman starts to see cracks. He starts to see little cracks. He walks randomly into a building that he never goes into one day, and the elevator door is open. There's no elevator there. It's just a break room for all the actors in the Truman Show. And he like sees through the set, and he sees kind of behind the scenes one day, which is like someone in our life realizing that marketing and advertising and all this kind of stuff is ruining us. It's building a prison that we can't see, just like in the Truman Show. And he starts like questioning reality. And the moment he does that, everyone around him steps in to say, whoa, man, you need to come back to Earth. You need to come back here and stay here. You need to stay here. Which is like, what do our friends do when we start going like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do that. I don't want to participate in that. It's very eerily similar. But the reason that the director of the Truman Show in the movie is willing to put him through all this turmoil, fires, explosions, all this stuff to try to keep him in this little world they built for him, which is a TV set. And Truman is willing to die for the truth. He's willing to die for the truth. And if you're in the business of finding truth and your price isn't your life, then you are for sale.
Okay, so
Crazy work.
now you're telling me that one of the things we're being told is that one of the reasons all the
Can't
plane
say
crashes
too
have
much.
been happening is because Earth's North Pole, the same North Pole that's been there since I've been born, I've been alive, has now shifted and has made its way towards Siberia. And if that isn't interesting enough, Siberia, 13 different viruses have been dug up that's been under the ice for a very, very long time. But one of those, in particularly, is causing a little bit of concern within the scientific community because it's categorized as the zombie virus. Now, I don't know what in The Last of Us is happening around us, but that seems a little bit alarming. So, yeah, what I've learned in the news today is that the reason the plane crashes are happening is because the North Pole has changed. Now, I don't know how Santa feels about that. I don't know how I feel about that. But have you heard this? Have you not heard this? Let's have this conversation today because I feel like there's a lot to be unearthed here. Unearthed. Pun intended. But drop it in the comments. And once again, anything we talk about is for education, learning, conversation, and entertainment purposes only. But
Educational
I kind of want to know what you guys
only.
think about this.
Crazy.
So, the Simpsons predicted the Coldplay concert. They predicted the Iran war. They predicted the Texas floods. But their next prediction
said
is
something about
seriously disturbing. Watch this clip.
Great blackout. We had no power and no prospects of getting any.
What is it? What is it? We'll never know! Don't worry, kids. The government will help. The government cannot help itself, let alone you.
And now, President Trump has declared that nationwide blackouts has become a serious threat. So let's break this down. You wake up in the morning and you have no power. What are you really going to be able to do? You'll have no TV, you'll have no internet or Wi-Fi, and your phone, if it's not dead, it will be soon. You're not going to be able to communicate with any of your family, and you won't have any idea what's going on in the world. To be honest, in a situation like that, the only reliable source of power is going to be the sun. That's why everybody in my family has at least one of these. This is one of the most powerful solar banks.
Everybody need to prepare for something like that, just in case. Not saying that it is, but you know, just in case, you already prepared. You know what you need. You got what you need. Hey, you got a couple more days.
On the market right now. It has embedded cords that will recharge any device, USB and C ports, a super bright LED flashlight, and most importantly, this huge
Just
solar
in
panel that
case.
will recharge the unit by sunlight. You need to keep one of these in every go bag. Keep them in your vehicles. Get them for your wife, your kids, maybe even your parents. Don't be the person that saw this video, failed to act, ended up in a circumstance where they needed it and didn't have it. Best part about these is the manufacturers got them on a crazy sale at 60% off. Worst part is, with the craziness in the world right now, these are constantly running out of stock. If you see an orange link somewhere in this video right now, that means you're in luck and they're still available. If there's no link, that means they're already sold out, and I'm sorry for that.
Okay, I'm gonna prove to you right now that you're not your physical body. Use your common sense. Raise your hand. Just raise your hand. Did your hand raise itself, or did you give the command to the body to raise the hand?
No. Hold
Paul, well, answer the question. Answer the question.
My brain is...
Okay, your brain gave a signal, right? So now, okay, your brain is an official entity, correct? Which means that the source from which the thought came would not be the body, because the body is the puppet. So do you... No, answer the question, man. You just... No question. Now I'm running over you. Listen, you are not the body. First of all, you are not the body. You saying it's pseudo, but you're not spiritually vibrating high enough to even transmit this knowledge. So first of all, second of all, calm down. Third of all, you are not your body. So therefore, your spirit ether body has a different food source than your physical body. If you fuse your spirit body or your ether body with your physical body, you can eat directly from the source. So the soles of your hands, the soles of your feet, the palms of your hand, these transmute energy. These are your 11 chakras.
The director, Stanley Kubrick, he literally had the strangest death as well. His final movie, Eyes Wide Shut, which is a movie that's pretty much, his wife says something wild to him, which sends him down this journey of trying to like find himself or whatever throughout New York, and he stumbles across this party that he wasn't supposed to go to. He ends up seeing a party where the elites are all there, and apparently there's even a scene where this guy that Tom Cruise's character talks to, he said,
"Listen, Bill, I don't think you realize what kind of trouble you were in last night. Who do you think those people were? Those were not just ordinary people there. If I told you their names, I'm not going to tell you their names, but if I did, I don't think you'd sleep so well."
That scene was supposed to reference, because he gets in this room and it's a whole bunch of these masked figures, and there were so many shots and things that just made sense about the movie, what they're doing. For instance, Tom Cruise's character, his mask, you can really clearly see his eyes in there.
Yeah.
Everybody else's is all dark. It's all dark.
Wasn't there also like
30 or like 40 minutes of the movie that hasn't been seen by anybody because it got like cut out or something like that, right? Am I wrong? Or?
No, that's 100% facts.
Yeah.
It's some number like that. It's either like 30 or 40 minutes or something, but you're spot on, bro. Yes, that's another detail people thought was weird about this movie. Long story short, they're like doing rituals or whatever. It's like an underground society, pretty much like real life. And right before he was supposed to drop the movie, Stanley Kubrick ends up dying mysteriously in his house or whatever. I forgot what it was, bro. It was a heart attack or whatever. And then it makes you go, the government literally said, I think it was the CIA. They said they had a heart attack gun, Mike. Am I wrong? Yes or no?
The CIA came out with a heart attack gun, yes.
It's such an easy way to do it where they go, well, he was old.
He was an older guy.
And he got killed.
He was a famous Hollywood director who knew what he was getting into, right?
And it's wild because he was trying to expose the elites. This movie is literally talking about these people. And just even the title, Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
You know you gotta keep your mouth closed, man.
If your whole life they told you 2 + 1 = 5, you'd believe it. You'd fight for it. You'd swear it's the truth because your teachers said it, your parents said it, your church said it. But here's the trap. Go to another land where they say 2 + 1 = 3, and you'd call them liars. You'd call them blasphemers. Not because they're wrong, but because you were programmed to believe it's 5. See, you don't defend truth. You defend the code that was written into your mind. Your subconscious is the software. Your conscious mind, just the screen. And everything you argue for is just the program, not the source. That's why most people never wake up. They never go past the screen. But if you go deeper, beyond religion, beyond belief, beyond all the scripts, you meet something they never wanted you to find. The real Christ. Not the one they sold you, not the one in stained glass. The Christ within you, the hidden code waiting to switch on.
It just came out in the Epstein Files that the elites were purposely trying to lower testosterone in men so that men can't fight back, putting estrogen in the water, making men very passive and weak through social media. They're telling them, oh, your masculinity is toxic and you should actually just be super soft and sweet all the time and gentle and never fight against anything. It's to cover up the things that they're doing. Because if every single man had the mindset of, no, our job is to protect women and children no matter what, they would not be getting away with the things that they're getting away with.
Who are you? It's me in the house. Not Jeffrey Epstein. See, a hit dog gonna holler. We didn't say that. We didn't bring that up. No. I thought you was Brad Pitt at first. So, and you brought up Epstein. Have you ain't. Y'all stay in the. I seen something. Y'all got the same background, and y'all stay in the same crib, and both this part of y'all mouth, like the top of y'all lip, long. No, this little part long, yeah.
What is going on here with this guy? Palm Beach Pete. What is really going on?
That's crazy.
Why is he hanging at all of these popular events with all of these celebrities and stuff? Seriously, what is going on? And why did he bring up Jeff yet again? When he wasn't even, asking about Jeff, and then he still brought it up. Seriously, what is going on here with this guy? Something ain't right, you all. Something definitely ain't right. Seriously, I don't know what is going on here. I don't know what is going on. But you gotta admit, something bizarre is happening. So Robert Harward appeared back on Fox News, this time with a high collar on. So he apparently has his mask all nice and tucked in now. I mean, come on. Something weird is definitely going on here. Because again, you remember how bizarre this looked when he was wearing a low collar type shirt showcasing the mask. And now he appears back on Fox News again, and he has the mask all nice and tucked in. You tell me what is going on, because something weird is definitely going on. And I know I can't be the only one out there to wonder what exactly is happening, because there are a lot of strange things happening anymore. And you can just add this to the list of bizarre and strange and weird things. What do you all think about this?
No, I'm crazy.
What's that? Oh, a couple ladies get a Ouija board and they decide to ask about the missing scientists, and the response they get from the other side is wild. Tell me more! Yeah, this is absolutely insane. These two ladies get a Ouija board, they start questioning things, they eventually get to the point of asking about the missing scientists. We're working on certain things that are classified and sensitive and involve certain zero-gravity aircraft that they have been working on for some time. But what the other side answers has to do with Antarctica. The Ouija board ends up saying the missing scientists are not gone. They're actually just in Antarctica working on such thing, and this is going to be revealed in 2028. The other side also said that they're not doing this on their own volition, meaning essentially that they are being forced into it, but also said that all of this will come to light in 2028. So I don't know. Okay then.
Are we really supposed to sit here and believe this nigga just offed himself?
They're as serious as a heart attack. And if it wasn't for these universal laws, they would have taken me out.
I think they would have.
They've tried and tried and tried. I have been given death threats directly from the Rothschilds 3 different times. They have actually had somebody that they could talk to.
Straw parties.
It's from them, through this person, to me, 3 times. Direct death threats from the Rothschilds. Shut up or we're going to take you out. And I'm still doing it.
You're still doing it.
Because what they really try to do is they try to
That's
lure you
crazy.
with a honey trap that gets you to authorize.
Hey man, tell me what y'all think in the chat
That's
about
how
this
we're
right
gonna
here.
be careful. And
This
now
is
let me tell
crazy.
you why. We are being plagued with
We know what we're
naturopathic doctors
We ain't
being
gonna say
murdered.
too much.
That's
I know.
happening all around
Do
the
your own
country,
research,
all
tell me
around
what
the
you
planet
find.
these days. We have had biochemists killed. Stephen Quayle and I have talked about that for years. They're getting to these people who are those.
I'm a conspiracy theorist, and here are some things that I will not be teaching my children. That ancient Egypt was in modern day Egypt. Instead, we will have a lesson on the Grand Canyon and why a majority of it is blocked off to the public. That we built buildings like this with hammer and chisel. Instead, we'll have a lesson on Tartarian architecture, the World Fairs, and how our entire history is a lie. That a comet took out the dinosaurs. Instead, we will have a lesson on dinosaurs being make-believe and how museums are used to cover up what really existed. That raw milk is dangerous. Instead, we will have a lesson on how pasteurization destroys nutrients, eliminates enzymes, and makes milk a dead food. If you're a conspiracy theorist like us, make sure to follow along.
Somebody waking up.
This is fucking terrifying. If you keep your phone in your pocket all day and then you sleep right next to it while it's charging all night, you will want to see this. Here's my phone and here's the amount of EMF radiation coming off of my phone. And as soon as I put an EMF shield on my phone, the EMF levels drop. And if you always deal with brain fog or you get those pressure headaches in the middle of the day, a lot of people are way more sensitive to EMF radiation than we even realize. And I originally got these EMF shields just for the peace of mind, and I threw one on my phone and my computer, which are right in front of me while I'm working all day, and my chronic brain fog and headaches just went away. I thought I was going fucking crazy. And then I saw all of these people saying pretty much the same thing. So I bought another pack of 6 to give it to my friends and family. They all have adhesive on the back so they can stick on to any device. You can throw it directly on your phone or onto the phone case. And I'll throw the link for these in the bottom left corner. And if that link is still there, that means that they're probably still in stock. And I'd grab some while they're still on some crazy sale right now.
So we have been eating fake chicken, and the regional vice president of Campbell's just came right out and admitted that he doesn't eat Campbell's products because the majority of the meat, the chicken, is 3D printed, and he doesn't know scientifically what it's going to do to your body. He just came right out and admitted it. Folks, look, I've been a chef for over 20 years, and I'm going to tell you, meat is not acting right now. Beef, chicken, pork, all the way across the board. A lot of our vegetables are not acting right all the way across the board. Here's the thing about vegetables when they go bad. They don't go bad from the inside out. They go bad from oxidization, which is the oxygen hitting the surface area and causing a rot, okay? Let's just put this out here. Vegetables are rotting from the inside, and fruit from the inside out. That's a pretty good sign that it's not real. We need to wake up. We need to face the reality that a lot of the shit the FDA is allowing is because they're getting paid to allow it.
This footage is seriously freaking people out. A thermal camera was set up on a mountain, a place that's supposed to be completely off limits. No hikers, no houses, nothing. But around midnight, the camera picked up 2 human figures. One was clearly chasing the other. They ran through the trees until the heat signature vanished. And then something even stranger happened. The camera suddenly caught what looked like buildings, a small cluster of houses sitting right in the middle of that restricted zone. Thing is, there are no houses on that mountain. None. Then about an hour later, the lens shifted to the summit. And this time there were 9 people standing there. One of them was dragging another body behind them, like they were pulling someone who couldn't walk. Officials said no one was supposed to be there. So now people are asking, who were they? And more importantly, what was happening up there? What do you think that camera really captured?
I would watch for
Or
Barron,
putting in
because
some
here's the
work or
thing.
something.
There's also another book called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote this book too in the late 1800s, depicting this character.
When they picked those same names.
Yes.
Barron Trump.
Barron Trump. That is a book. Yes. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote both these books. Right?
In the 1800s.
Yes. I believe it was like 1893, 1896, something like that.
Then there has to be time travelers.
Well, here's the thing. In the book, Barron Trump is a time traveler. No bullshit. All this is in the book, you guys. And guess what? So he time travels, right? He has a mentor named Don. This is in the book. So, here's the theory. That Trump actually has some type of time travel technology only because Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, worked for the FBI. Now, when Nikola Tesla died, they sent him in because he's a scientist, he's a physicist.